What is in the power of a word? Hello, welcome to my channel. Another bibliophile reads. My name is Greg, and in January and February, I was reading Gravity's Rainbow by Thomas Pynchon, and I came across a word that I did not know. It was in German, and it was not translated. It was Kadavergehorsamkeit. And I asked myself, what does that word mean? So I did a little bit of research. This video is not going to be about Thomas Pynchon. It's just where I discovered the word. The literal meaning of Kadavergehorsamkeit is cadaver, corpse, gehorsam, obedience. Kadavergehorsam means corpse-like obedience, and Kadavergehorsamkeit is the state or condition of such obedience. A smoother English rendering would be absolute unthinking obedience. Obedience as if one were already dead. It is also translated as corpse obedience, cadaver obedience, cadaver-like obedience, slavish obedience, unquestioning obedience, absolute obedience, or blind obedience. But some of those translations undersell the horror. The idea isn't merely obedience. It's obedience after consciousness, agency, and moral responsibility has been extinguished. Doesn't that sound right for this time and age in the United States of America? The origins of the word come from Jesuit discipline. The term is most famously associated with Jesuit doctrine, especially as articulated by Ignatius of Loyola in the 16th century. Jesuits were instructed to obey superiors. Here is a little quote. We should be aware that each of those who live in obedience must allow himself to be led and guided by divine providence through the superior, as if he were a dead body. The metaphor was deliberate. A corpse does not resist. A corpse does not question. A corpse does not interpret orders. This was meant to express spiritual humility and unity, not cruelty. The concept described in the Jesuit context as fabled and misunderstood has been criticized by detractors of the Jesuit order as blind obedience. Jesuit supporters, in turn, refer to it as perfect obedience. By the 18th and 19th century, Kadavergehorsam migrated from religious discipline into Prussian military culture. In that context, it came to mean absolute obedience to command, suppression of individual judgment, loyalty to hierarchy over ethics or outcome. This fit perfectly with the Prussian ideals of order, discipline, mechanized authority. By the time of Imperial Germany, the word had carried a negative undertone, often used critically rather than approving. The word curdles in the Nazi era. After World War II, Kadavergehorsam became inseparable from discussions of Nazi bureaucratic obedience. It was frequently invoked in post-war moral reckoning, analysis of the Holocaust, critiques of the "I was just following orders" defense. In this period, the word came to signify moral abdication, dehumanization of both victim and perpetrator, the transformation of people into instruments. German writers and philosophers often use the term accusatorily, not descriptively. There is no good English equivalent to this word. English lacks a single term that fuses death, obedience, institutional authority, moral nullification. Closest approximations: blind obedience, too mild. Unthinking compliance, too abstract. Mechanical obedience misses the ethical horror. So why am I talking about this German word in the modern day and age? Because I feel that Stephen Miller and the Trump administration would really like Kadavergehorsamkeit, the state of being in corpse-like obedience, to be thorough and absolute in the United States. They want their obedience corpses, following their every word, not questioning what they do, because corpses don't resist. People do, but corpses do not. And that's why I think this word is important to bring out into the open, because people are not corpses. People can resist. The people of Minneapolis were strong. They resisted what was happening in their city with ICE agents. And this is what is important. We are not corpses. The American people are not corpses, unless we allow ourselves to become corpses, not the actual dead, but the morally dead, with no conscience on the inside. We need to resist. We need to say that Kadavergehorsamkeit is not acceptable in the United States of America in this day and age, or any day and age. We need civil courage. We need moral courage, because in times to come, the defense, "I was only obeying orders," is not going to cut it. You cannot say, "Well, I was just a corpse back then, but now I'm alive again." No, once a corpse, always a corpse. Don't turn in your civil courage, your moral courage. We are not corpses. We do not obey. Thank you for watching, and keep on reading.